welcome back to another monthly reset. It is June, which is absolutely crazy, and I love the month of June. It's my birthday month. I've got lots of fun plans this month, which I'm really looking forward to. And I also just love the middle part of the year. I just feel like once we hit halfway, it kind of remotivates me and makes me think about my goals again, and it kind of feels like a fresh start. It kind of feels like the start of the new year to me. I don't know why. I think it's just like once you hit the halfway point, you're like, okay, I've only got 6 months left of the year, so I want to make them count. So I'm definitely going to have a look at my goals today and go through them with you guys. This monthly reset is also extra exciting because I'm actually launching my own budgeting template. So as you guys know, if you watch my monthly resets, I like to do a budgeting portion of each video, and I really wanted to create my own templates because I just wanted to create something that was aesthetic and really easy to navigate. So if you guys are a beginner with budgeting, this is going to be great for you guys because I explain everything in the instructions and it's just super user-friendly. But also if you are experienced with budgeting, I'm sure you'll love it as well. I just think it looks really nice, but also it is just so streamlined and really easy to use. So I've been working on this for a couple of months now, believe it or not, and Braden's been helping me a lot as well. So I'm super grateful for him because he's really good with like coding and things like that. So he's really helped me with the formulas. So for the rest of June, you can get your hands on the template for $9.99, and then afterwards it's going to go up to $14.99. So definitely get in early to get the early birds price. But I just wanted to get that out of the way at the start of the video to tell you guys all about it. I'm really excited and I really hope it helps you guys out. So I feel like with that being said, we should actually start off the video with the budgeting section. Okay, so this is what you'll see when you download the template. It's applicable with Google Sheets, and I'm assuming you all have a Google account, especially if you're watching this YouTube video. So this is the instructions page, which is the first page you'll see when you download the template. So just make sure to have a read of this because it will tell you how to access it and edit it yourself. You'll just have to make a copy so that you can start editing it. And then I've just written down a bunch of other things that you should know about the template. So down the bottom here, we've got a new tab for every single month, but I'm assuming you guys will be starting this in June or July. So you can just go to January and change the month up here to July, for example, if you like, but you can just also drag that over and change the order around. You can do whatever you like. But this is what the monthly overview looks like. I've designed it so that when you're on 100% zoom, it fills the page. But if you want to see the other side of the page where the expenses tracker is, you can just either zoom out or you can just go on 100% and just scroll over to the other side of the page. But just so you guys can see everything, I'll zoom out a little bit. So as you can see over here, we have this month's money goals. You can easily just write whatever your goals are. And then once you've achieved that goal, you can just tick it off at the end of the month or as you go. And then we also have a to-do list section as well. You can write whatever you want here, whether it's a to-do list to do with your personal life or if it's just like financial to-dos. You can use it for whatever. One thing to note is that you don't want to edit any of the cells that have a colored background. I've written a reminder up here just so you guys don't forget, but that is because those cells have formula in them, so you won't actually need to put anything in them yourself. But if you try and type anything in these cells, you'll just end up messing up the formula, so don't do that. Also, there is usually graphs here. You guys will see them when I log in my details, but for now they're just blank because everything else is blank. At the top here, you can just see how much you've made, how much you've spent, and then the total, so your income minus your expenses. So here we have the income summary, so you can customize these categories yourself, and then you just want to write the expected amount that you think you're going to earn for each different type of income, and then later on you can write your actual amount, and then it will automatically put in the progress that you've made. This is all kind of self-explanatory. It's the same for the savings tracker and the debt tracker and investment tracker. Then over here, this is the expense summary, which is where we're going to be spending most of our time. You guys can completely customize this as well and change them. And I've actually combined the expenses and bills together because I know a lot of budgeting templates seem to have the bills in a separate section, but I personally feel like bills are a part of your expenses. And when you copy and paste your expenses for the month into your expense tracker, it includes your bills anyway, so I decided to put them together, but you can completely change these. I've tried to make them as broad as possible, but you've got quite a lot of room to add a bunch of different types of expenses. So you can just add your expected amount here, but for the expense summary, you don't actually want to fill out the actual amount yourself. As you can see, it's highlighted, so that means that it's calculated by formula. So the way that it figures out how much you actually earned is from your transaction list. So over here we've got date, description, amount, and category. And as you can see, when I click category, you've got all of your options here to choose from. And like I said before, you can change these, but when you change them, just make sure you're doing it over here in the expense summary, and then that will automatically change them in the category. So when you're filling out the transaction list, you could just go through and fill it out manually, but that just takes a bit of time. So I like to go into my bank account and download the statement as a CSV file so that I can literally just copy and paste it into here, which saves so much time. So I've found the easiest way to do it is to copy and paste each column individually. So start off by copying and pasting the dates, then the description, then the amount. And to paste, you just want to right click, head to paste special, and then values only. And then it will just do all of it for you, and you just need to go through and categorize everything, but you guys will see that in a moment. And then the final section I just want to quickly chat about is over here. So this will calculate the amount you've got left to spend. You'll have your cash flow summary graph updating once you've entered all of your data. And then we've also got a summary of your cash flow. So you can also enter your rollover from the previous month if you want, if that's something you want to add into your budget. You've got a bunch of options, but that is pretty much the template. I wasn't going to do a full-on talk through, but I feel like it was kind of necessary, so I really hope you guys like it. Let's get into my personal budgeting. Alright, so I've just gone through and filled out the template. Last month I didn't actually do a monthly reset, so I don't have my expected amount, but I'm going to do my expected amount for next month, and then we can check in and see the difference between the expected and the actual. But as for my expenses, this was a spendy month. Like, I don't usually spend this much money, but Braden and I are currently in the process of booking our trip over to Europe, and at the moment I've been booking everything and he just needs to transfer me, but we just figured that like I'd book everything and then he's going to transfer me the lump sum at the end. It's just what works for us. But anyway, it looks like I spent a lot, but technically some of that Braden's going to pay me back, so just excuse that. But it says that I've spent a total of $18,000 in May. So as you can see, we've got a little graph here showing the top expenses. So the holidays cost a big chunk, and then second, I spent a lot of money on my business this month, and then also on my rent, and then everything else is kind of a bit even. But let's go and have a look at the expense summary. Like I said before, I haven't filled out the expected yet because I didn't do a reset last month. So having a look at my expense summary, for entertainment I spent $108. This is just on my Mamma Mia tickets. For eating out, I spent $367, which honestly I don't think's too bad for a whole month. I think that's pretty good. That also includes some coffee as well, because it's kind of hard to split up the coffee and eating out component, because usually like when we eat out we'll get coffee with it. For business, it looks like I spent a lot, but I did have some taxes and stuff to do in May, which I put under the business expense. For groceries, we spent almost $500 each, so that would be about $1,000 worth of groceries for the month. So that works out to be almost $250 a week. So I mean, honestly, I feel like we could probably cut back on that, but that's just apparently how much it was. For shopping, it says that I spent nothing, but that's definitely not true because I put some of my shopping expenses under the business expense. But yeah, it depends on what it is. But apparently this month I didn't spend anything. For household, I spent $364. I bought a new desk this month, so that's what that is. For coffee, I spent $41, which really isn't too bad in my opinion. I usually spend a lot more on that, but bear in mind that sometimes when we get coffee, it's when we're eating out as well. For subscriptions, this is my Spotify subscription. I spent $368 on gifts, $74 on fuel. Let me check on my health insurance. Why is that zero? For health insurance, it definitely shouldn't be zero. I usually pay my dad every single month to go towards being on their insurance policy, but it must have bounced back, so I'm gonna have to transfer my dad. So for our trip to Europe, so far we've almost spent $12,000 for like our flights and accommodation and transfers and stuff, and that's like the full price. So that includes me and Braden's fare, so it would be half of that. So I've really more or less spent just under $6,000 myself. For medications, we have $46, transportation $132, gym $119. Looks like we haven't been charged for electricity or gas bill yet. For Wi-Fi, my half was $39.50. Phone bill, $35. Our water bill also came out this month. We also have car insurance. Also, excuse the fact that it says childcare. I'm gonna get rid of that from my own personal sheet, but I just wanted to include that for like other people because I know some people have that as an expense. But yeah, I can remove that from mine. And then for rent, my half was $1,412.20. Also, I totally just realized I did this for January. Let's change that to May. I'm going to rename this to May. Okay, I've just renamed that to May. Now let's go into June and start planning the expected amount that I'm thinking of spending. For entertainment, it's my birthday month and I know that I'm doing a few things for my birthday, so I'm going to say $250, and I feel like that's being generous. I feel like that's more than enough for that. For eating out, I don't know. I think I'm going to say $300. For business expenses, I'm going to say $500. For groceries, I'm going to say $400 for my half. Shopping, I'll do $100. Look, I'm going to say $50 for the coffee because if I can keep up the low coffee spend, that's great. $20 for subscriptions. For gifts, I don't think we've got too many things coming up. I'm going to say $100 for gifts. $100 for fuel. I really want to get the remainder of our trip booked in June, so I'm gonna say that, I don't know, I think I'm gonna set a budget of $6,000. I have no idea. I can't even remember how much our electricity bill and gas bill is at this point. We'll find out next month. Actually, maybe I'll change that to $150. We won't be charged our water bill next month. Oh, let's get rid of childcare. So it says that I'm expected to spend $10,000 next month. We will see because I might spend less on my trip because I have set aside $6,000 for that, but it's hard to know really. But I'm gonna go through and do my expected amount for my income and savings and everything like that, but I like to keep that side of things private. I also just realized I forgot to share with you what the transaction list looks like once you've input all of your data. So this is it. And for anything that I don't want to include, like transaction fees, because my bank account reimburses me for them, I just delete it from the amount. And as you can see here, all of the amounts are in negative because I copied and pasted them from my bank statement, and these are all the debits from my account. But even though they're a negative, it will automatically like count it up as a positive in your expense summary. So even if you don't have it as a negative and you change it to a positive, so for example, if I was to do this, it doesn't change this, so that's for eating out. As you can see, it doesn't change, but if I get rid of it, it does change this amount over here for eating out. So yeah, it doesn't matter either way. We've just done that in the formula to make that super easy. So it's actually been a couple of days since I filmed the budgeting section of this video. I ended up going to my friend's place after filming the budgeting, and yeah, I checked out her new apartment that she's just moved into, and then the day just got away from me. So I'm just catching up on the rest of this video now. It's Monday the 5th of June, so better late than never for setting my goals. I'm also a little bit sick at the moment. If you guys can tell, I don't know. I just feel very washed out and run down. Here's a quick overview of my life planner dashboard in case you guys are wondering. And then yeah, I go into my monthly goals, which I have here. And like I said earlier, I didn't do a reset last month. I don't know why, but I swear it made a difference. So setting some time to go over your goals each month, I think is really important. So usually I would go and have a look at my previous month's goals and see if I achieved them. But since I didn't do a reset last month, I won't do that this month. So let's get into just setting some goals for June. So I'm going to click empty page, and then I'm going to create a to-do list so I can like check off my goals at the end of the month. So to start off with, one thing I really want to do is start doing more running throughout June, because I really want to train myself up to do the Sutherland to surf, which is about 11 kilometers. My family wants to do it, and that's in July, so I mean it's not that far away. So I can currently only run about 5k, so 11k is quite a lot more than that, so I probably would need to train up for it a little bit. But I also don't want to put aside my other training, so I'd like to try and maybe do 2 runs a week. We will see. I probably should follow a program or something. If you guys like running content, I'm loving Connor Kathleen's running series that she's doing at the moment on her channel. She's just got into running, I'd say like within the last year, and she's doing so well. I think she's training for a half marathon. Anyway, it's very inspiring. I really want to finish booking our Europe trip this month, so I'm going to add that to the list. So it's my birthday in June. My birthday's the 21st, so we still got a little bit to go, and I had something really fun planned with my friends, but that thing's not fully gone to plan. So I'm making a backup plan now and I'm having to kind of like reorganize things. So I want to get that all sorted and just have like a really fun birthday. I know I will anyway, but I just want to like get my birthday all organized. So I guess organize my birthday. Something that I did in May a few times and I absolutely loved was going to the sauna. I've been to a few different types of saunas and I love it. My gym's also got their own sauna, so I really want to make the effort to go to the sauna at least once a week because it makes me feel amazing. So I'm going to write that down as a personal goal. I've been really out of the routine of reading lately and I really want to get back into it because it makes me feel so good when I do put time aside to do that. It just gives me time to actually switch off as well, especially before bed. So I would like to read 2 books, you know, that might be striving high, but we want to try. So I'm not sure if this next one goes under like the career or personal category, but as you guys know, I've been doing acting classes, which I've been loving. I did them at Screenwise, by the way, in case any of you guys were wondering, because I have had a few questions about it. But I've finished my courses now and I really want to make sure I still keep practicing my acting, and I just enjoyed it so much. So I really just want to do it for me and just get better at it, because if I stop doing it, I'm going to be out of practice. So I'd like to try and do 4 self-tapes this month. I think that's enough for the personal goals. Let's get on to the career goals. First things first, I'm going to release my budgeting template. So I've just wrapped up the first season back of the podcast and I'm taking June off and then I'm coming back in July, and I just feel like it's good to take a break from things sometimes so you can like have a think about how you want to improve and everything. And I also just really want to work on the branding of the podcast. So one goal of mine in my break is to do a new photo shoot because I'm not 100% happy with the cover photo that I got, so I'd like to get a new one. And I'd just like to do an overall branding photo shoot for the podcast so I have like a bunch of batched photos that I can use for content throughout the whole season, and it just makes it a lot easier for me. So I'd like to book in a photo shoot, and then that way I can also get some headshots as well, because I need to get new headshots for acting since the last ones that me and Jessie did was when my hair was copper. Something I'd like to do in June as well is to actually hire someone, which is really exciting. It's been something I've been thinking about for a long time, but I've just had to like get a few things in order first, talk to the accountant and things like that. But I really want to do it and I feel like it is so necessary, and it will just help me be a lot more consistent amongst my platforms, because I really struggle and get overwhelmed with all of the different things that I have to keep up with. That if I just had someone to help me with like scheduling posts for Inspired Mind and Elements of Presence, that would just be a massive help. So hire an assistant. Also for the podcast, I want to start pre-recording some episodes with guests. So reach out to guests for the pod and record episodes. I've got a list already of like the guests I want to interview, but if there's anyone like you think I should chat to, let me know. And then finally, I'm just going to say be consistent on all platforms. And I think that's all I'm going to say for career goals, because I don't want to overwhelm myself. I feel like there's a fine line between not setting enough goals and setting too many. So they're the things I want to focus on. Honestly, for my habits, they kind of stay the same every single month. Reading for 30 minutes before bed, magnesium each night, no phone 1 hour each morning, no phone for 1 hour before bed, waking up before 7 a.m, in bed by 9 p.m. So I have created a habit tracker in Notion. This is what it looks like. You can see all my habits down here, and then I've created a weekly spread. So every day that I complete the habit, I can tick it off. And then once I finish that week, I can just add a new week here. And then when I get to the end of the month, I can have a look at how I went and just delete everything and start again. So now let's get into doing some planning and go into my calendar view and just plan out everything for the next month. So let's go through and do some scheduling. As you can see, we're already into the 5th of June, and honestly this week I can imagine is going to be a slower one since I am feeling really quite unwell. Honestly, like when I'm filming this, I'm not feeling too crash hot. But tomorrow I'd really like to try and edit and upload this video. I also want to launch my template tomorrow. Wednesday the 15th, I know we're going out for dinner for my brother's birthday. And on Saturday the 7th, we have my brother's birthday party. It says 21st. I think this Friday or Saturday, I might be going and doing some more bridesmaid dress shopping with my friends Emma and Sienna. My friend Emma's getting married next year and I'm one of her bridesmaids. So yeah, we're gonna go shopping for a dress. We already did it last weekend, but I think we might be going ideally on Saturday. I'm just going to write that, but we'll see. So towards the end of the month, it's going to be a bit more busy with my birthday. So my birthday's the 21st, and then the 22nd, Jessie, Maddie and I are going to see Mamma Mia, and then we're actually staying in the city. So I can assume on Friday, I'll probably be in the city with the girls as well. And then on the Saturday, that's when I'm actually celebrating my birthday with my friends. Honestly, I think that's all I can really pop in for now. I really need to go through and book some appointments as well. And once I've got them sorted, I can pop them in. And then I need to go through like my content calendar and like organize that. And like I said earlier when I was talking about my goals, I really want to do some self-tapes this month. I'd like to book in a photo shoot for my podcast and some headshots. And I also want to start pre-recording some episodes. So there's some like time-consuming things this month that I need to find some time for. So I need to sit down and organize them and then slot them in, as well as making time for rest as well. I feel like that's really important. But that is pretty much how my month is looking. I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. Every single time I do these monthly resets, I like to do them a little bit different for the video. So I'm not going to do any cleaning or anything like that today, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. And if you haven't gone through and done some goal setting or budgeting, definitely do so, because it just helps so much with your organization throughout the month, and your future self will definitely thank you. And if you do want to pick up my new budgeting template, I'll pop a link in the description. Don't forget that it's going to be on sale for the rest of June, which I think is good timing with the end of financial year coming up. So if you're wanting to be more organized with your finances for the new financial year, definitely check out the budgeting template. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me or leave a question in the comment section and I'll get back to you guys. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.